Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everybody. Very excited to be here with you all today for our regularly scheduled Sunday morning live stream. And for those who have paid attention to the title, because although we meet right now, normally the topic is a tiny bit different today. So, hi Wendy, J.E., thank you Wendy. So yes, today is the day where I am celebrating 27 years of being clean and sober off of alcohol and drugs. And I got sober this day in 1999 when I was 22 years old. So, I'll reflect a little bit about that today, and I want to think about it in terms of, we all have things in our life that we want to be different. We all have habits, addictions, distractions, things that don't serve us. And so we're going to, widen the lens a bit, although I know some people here are in recovery. We all have things that we want to transform, so we'll look at that a bit deeper as well. So good morning, Karen. Great to see you. It's been a little while. Donna, thank you. Good morning. Holly, thank you so much. And thanks, Karen. So, I've been reflecting on this day coming up, and if you follow me in social media, or if you're on my email list, or I think I sent it. Oh, I didn't. I meant to send it in my email list. But my story about what was happening 27 years ago, and I think I shared a bit about it last week. But yeah, I was just reflecting on all of that. So today we're going to do our card reading as we normally do. I would like you all to consider and think about, I know some of you do have recovery from addictions like I do. And, as I said, we all have habits and things that distract us and that don't serve us. And I wonder, if you can give an emoji in the chat or a word that describes, something that you feel is tugging at you to let go of. It might be a person, it might be an addiction, it might be a habit, a distraction. And we're going to look at that a bit more. So if you are new to me, please don't forget to follow me here on Insight Timer. I have a new meditation, but I don't think I added it yet. No. But anyway, I have a new meditation in my premium tracks. It's about self-forgiveness and self-compassion and letting go. So please check that out. A big part of transforming ourselves is forgiving ourselves for the past. I was thinking about the version of me, 27 years ago who decided that day in the AA meeting to walk to the front of the room, and what we have and where I got sober, these chips, which even if anybody hasn't been to an AA meeting, likely everybody has heard of the chips from movies and things. But yeah, I went to the front of the room and I picked up a chip, a white chip, which that symbolizes surrender. And so when somebody comes in or comes back in, and I was back in myself, you have to walk to the front of the room and take that long walk of humility and willingness to show, that you are ready and want something different. And that's what I did. So looking at that, being thankful for that Natalie who was broken, hitting a bottom, a horrible bottom. I'm feeling gratitude and appreciation because, my life is built on her shoulders. Everything I have today is a result of me making that choice on that day and continuing to make it every day since, but especially then. So Holly, food noise, I can relate to that as well. I've been 5.5 years sugar-free, which is another addiction for me, so I totally get that. Yeah, so in my meditation this morning, I was just feeling appreciation, thinking about that version of me. Donna vaping. Yeah, I even thought, wow, I was smoking cigarettes then. Yeah, just how different life is today. And what it required of me was I had to change everything. So depending on you, like how severe of an issue, whatever your thing is, will tell you like how much change is required of you. If it's something like, oh, I just, I watch Netflix too long at night, like I watch an hour and I only want to be watching 30 minutes, or if it's something a little more less impactful for you, that might not require a level of transformation that like what I went through did, because I had to change absolutely everything. And I had to have the willingness to do that. And in order to have the willingness, I had to be at a point of utter hopelessness and desperation. So, for some people, food is going to be on that level, depending on the person. Vaping definitely could be considered an addiction. So, for me, it took this mix of being totally broken from what I put myself through and hitting my bottom with my addiction. And then there was this window of willingness that opened. A window of willingness and a gift of desperation. I was so desperate at that point and so willing. For those who did hear my story a bit last week, I think it was, I was facing 30 years in federal prison. I found out I was pregnant in jail. I had an abortion when I got out. My family, I had no support for that other than, thank God, the person I was dating at the time. But, my family, nobody knew. And then today, which was like a few days after all of that, was the day that I went to the AA meeting. So that is just a tiny slice of the horrible pain and misery of my addiction that I created. That was the end, hopefully. So all of that snowballed into me coming to this meeting and having this willingness to do something different. And I'm just so grateful because, yeah, I mean, I'm living a life beyond my wildest dreams. And I'm very open about my story because, you know, our stories, our past, the things that we've overcome, the things that maybe there's still shame about, we all can identify, if not personally, every single person has been affected by addiction through either relationship with somebody else who's been affected or their own. Hi, Drazel. Welcome. Great. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, so this is why I share, to normalize it so we know we're not alone. For me, alcohol and marijuana were my drugs of choice, in which I had to have my pot every hour, every waking hour. I had to smoke, and I had to drink every night. And that was my life. I could not be without a substance. I could not be just in the world like now, like not being mood or mind altered. I could not function. I could not do it. So thank God I don't live like that today. Yeah, and I share this for hope for anybody here or anybody that's going to watch the replay. And especially I think it's important here in Insight Timer, you know, as a teacher here for almost 5 years, you know, it's a spiritual place. We're a spiritual app with spiritual people, and, you know, addiction and recovery belongs. Everything belongs. There's nothing that really, there isn't anything that's not spiritual, but there can be, you know, certain attitudes and things, which is like, oh, well, you can't talk about that. This is a spiritual place, you know, so I don't abide by any of that. It's all welcome, you know, every part of our human experience. So, and I guess I want to touch back on, you know, what was required of me to transform. And so for those of you who are making changes, or maybe you feel like there's something in your life that's so big that you couldn't ever change because it's too much. I mean, that's how I felt with, you know, my alcohol and drug addiction being as crippling as it was. You know, I had to change everything. Hi, Monica. Thank you so much. So glad to see you. Thank you for joining. I remember, Jay, yeah, you've talked about that before. I'm sorry you're experiencing that. So yeah, other people's addictions affecting you, definitely. So, you know, when I first, because I got sober, I got sent to rehab at 17. And then, I mean, that's another long story. But anyway, I didn't end up staying sober. And then I relapsed, and then I came back at 22 a few years later. And so when I came back in on February 1st, 1999, you know, and I wasn't planning on changing my life. I wasn't planning on it that day. Even though I knew I had these federal drug charges, you know, my life was a mess. It wasn't like I'm like woke up on this day and was like, I'm gonna change my life today. That's not how it happened. It was just like, oh, my public defender said I had to go to meetings to make it look good for my court case. So I guess I'll go to the meeting tonight. And I did. And then the next day I woke up and it was like, okay, this is day 2. and I went to another meeting. So I had to have a willingness every day. I had to do something different every day. I had to change my friend group. I had to change my thoughts. I had to be willing to do what people who were sober and clean did, which was things that were very different. Thank you, Amy. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Craig. Good morning. Awesome. Congrats on your own sobriety. 521. Awesome. Yeah, so for those of you that are thinking about your own life, things, and you might be addicted to thought patterns. I mean, honestly, our thoughts are the biggest thing that we're addicted to, and everybody is addicted to their thoughts. So, I mean, I'm just going to be bold and say that. And if anybody disagrees, I'd like to hear it, because I think it was Adyashanti, a teacher that I follow. I think he was the one that said, you know, the biggest addiction humanity has is addiction to our thinking. And that deeply resonated, because we're identified with our thoughts, we believe our thoughts, we give power to our thoughts, we do whatever they say, or we are influenced if we don't act out on them. So, you know, we all can relate to that. So it might be, again, be a habit, a pattern. And as far, like, I remember my first 30 days clean and sober, I will never forget how difficult that was. My body was detoxing, my mind was going crazy, I was having these vivid nightmares every night. I craved alcohol 30 days straight, every day. Every time I thought about it, my mouth would water. And my daily moment-by-moment commitment was the thing that drove me forward, where it was just like, as the days built up, it was like then I had investment, because each day was so difficult. I remember day 5, which was Friday. You know, I stopped on a Monday, and it was the first Friday, and, you know, I was a partier, so it was like Friday night, party time. I mean, every day was party time, but, you know, whatever, I was young. And I made it through that night sober, which was extremely difficult, and I'll never forget it. And the next day I woke up, I was like, wow, I made it through that. I want to keep going. So it's this, you know, daily moment by moment choice to commit and recommit. And it's really hard, because when we're changing and giving up a habit or an addiction, and again, even addiction to thoughts, it can be so compelling because we got something out of it, you know, with the food or with vaping or with negative thinking or pessimism or self-pity, victim mode, anyone addicted to a person, anything. We got something out of it. So we have to switch our focus to looking at, what do I gain by giving this up? Instead of what am I giving up, what am I gaining? And in the very beginning, in those early days, it's very much focused on what I'm giving up, because it feels like so much, because what's left when we stop the thing, there's a void that's not filled yet with new life, new thoughts, new habits. And that's the beauty of 12-step, is there's this instant, very rich, helpful, supportive community and a process to go through, and a whole structure. So for those of you that are thinking of habits or things to give up, like support is vital. And in my work as a spiritual life coach, I help people with this all the time. This is what I do. If it's changing mindset, habits, patterns, creating new possibilities, new jobs, new relationships, moves, new lifestyles, sugar addiction recovery, all of it, and what better of a person to help somebody else with this sort of a thing than somebody who's been through it. So I never would have imagined I would be here. One of my favorite things to consider is excuse me, like thinking about my life today. Even this morning I was thinking like, oh, I'm about to do a live stream. Like Natalie 27 years ago, like the internet was there, but there were no live streams. So it was interesting to think about that and just think about my wonderful life. I was thinking when I got out of jail, somehow, I don't know, my mom maybe let me borrow the money. I bought a car for like $700. And it was this old 80s, boat, like car Caprice Classic that barely ran. And, from that to this, I had to become somebody else. So that's the thing with transformation of any kind. We have to become a different person. Even you all have heard me talk many times about, my journey to becoming a life coach, which came from my 12-step journey and my journey to being an insight timer teacher. All of that required me to become a different version of myself. And it's not that the past version is not good or not good enough or is failing in some way. It's just the evolution of our soul and the evolution of who we are as humans, what we're here for. And that's the joy of being alive and being in this physical plane, is overcoming ourselves, overcoming, our attachments, our ego, our addictions, to become something more evolved, more empowered, more sovereign. That's what it's all about, is to become our own leader, to become a self-led leader on the inside. And addiction is a very stark extreme of not being a leader and not being sovereign, but being totally driven by something else. And there, like I said, to me, the ultimate layer is thoughts and ego, being addicted to our thinking. And I think that's the hardest one because it's so close. There's a habit on the outside, like to not pick up a substance or a cookie or the binge food or pressing buy on the cart in your shopping cart or whatever it is. Those are actions. But when we're in our head, there's very little separation. And so that's why the spiritual journey is so important, of being able to start being the witness, being the observer, learning to be in that seat of awareness ourselves, so that we can then observe the thinking to create space. And when we create that space, we create that awareness, we create that mindfulness, we create that inner space, then that helps us not be 100% identified with every single thought that moves through our awareness, so that we can free ourselves from that addiction. Thank you, Drazel. Love it, Craig. So glad. And we've got a couple 12-step fellows in here. So wonderful to have you. So we're going to go ahead and get into the card reading. And again, if you haven't already, please give me a follow here on Insight Timer. It really supports me and what I'm up to. Excuse me. You can click there. Join my group, Natalie's Healing Circle, where I make announcements and we can stay updated. And I did make my announcements that I do have 2 new meditations available. In the free section in my profile, I have a sleep track. I can't remember if it's 8 hours or 12 hours, but I have one pending and one already approved. And then, as I said, in my premium tracks now, I have a self-forgiveness, self-compassion meditation. So please check those out. If you enjoy them, please give them a positive review. Thank you so much. This is being live streamed on YouTube as well right now. Follow me there. All my replays are there for the past few years, every single one. I also have a number of live streams scheduled for this month. So please RSVP to those if you can attend or if you would like to. We've got some great topics coming up. And also I have changed up my format for February. I'm going to be experimenting with doing my regularly scheduled Sunday morning card reading on alternate Wednesdays. So we're going to still meet every Sunday in this hemisphere, Sunday mornings. And we're going to be doing like a teaching live stream on alternate weeks. And so it's all there for February. You can check it out. And I really appreciate all of your support, your presence. And those of you, if you're here for the first time or the 100th, which I know many of you are, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for Insight Timer, for this journey, for Natalie 27 years ago, who just out of desperation and hopelessness decided to, just for that day, not choose addiction. And for every day since, it's been a choice. So thank you all so much. Let's see what Michael Singer has to say first. He's the author of Untethered Soul, which many of you know. My favorite spiritual teacher of the past few years. Does anybody not know who Michael Singer is? Going once, going twice. Hi, Michelle. Wonderful. So he is best known for this book, The Untethered Soul. So if anybody's been in the spiritual path for a while, likely you've run across this book. It's a spiritual classic. He's also written The Surrender Experiment. So I would recommend starting here because it's a very amazing story and it's spiritual as well. And then he also has Living Untethered, his newest book, but he's come out with another one. But he's an amazing spiritual teacher. So Craig doesn't know either. Hi, Patricia. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, I always say you can't make this shit up, and you can't, because what I was saying earlier about how humans are addicted to their thoughts, and like the way to work with that is to create the space of awareness. I was thinking about Michael Singer, and this is actually what he's saying right here. So listen. This place of centered awareness is the seat of the witness, the seat of self. That is the only seat from which you can let go. This place of centered awareness is the seat of the witness, the seat of self. That is the only seat from which you can let go. So that's what I was saying of being able to be in that witness consciousness in order to observe the thoughts and have that space to be the observer and the witness, so you're not 100% identified just with the thoughts as they come, and to be able to come from that seat so you can let go and let things, thoughts, emotions move through you. Thanks, Michelle. It's actually 27 years, but hey, who's counting? Awesome, Michelle with 12 and Donna with 12. Love it. I love how there's so many wonderful people in Insight Timer from all backgrounds, all walks of life, recovery or not. We're all welcome. So we're going to look at Sacred Rebels now and see what Sacred Rebels has to say. Oh, and before that, I do want to say, because it's coming up, I would like to offer anybody here in my community who has never received a gifted session with me that I have a very powerful visioning process that I take people through one-on-one. So if that feels like something that you want to take advantage of, send me a message. We would set up a session where we would meet and really dive into, it might be a habit or an addiction you want to let go of, or it might be, what do you want to create in your future? We're still in the early days of 2026. So we'll dive really deep into that. And if you would like to take advantage of it, send me a private message here, everywhere. That I am on social, and you can find all that in my link here in Insight Timer in my teacher profile about me section. So if you feel the heart's call to do that, reach out. Hi Kat, good morning. So theme of the live stream is coming through here in the cards. Releasing allegiances. Releasing allegiances. So to me, this means whatever your own flavor of addiction, distraction, escape is. As I said, we all have one, at least one. So releasing the grip of that, releasing allegiance means kind of like loyalty. So releasing your loyalty to those things that don't serve you. And so I want you to look at, what is the cost of you keeping these people in your life, these thought systems, these victim negative mindsets, these, addictions, either with substances or food or sex or shopping or porn or phone, all of the things, right? What is the cost of it? What is the impact of it on you? That will help you to release the hold and release the tie. So I'm going to look at the guidebook. Because this also has to do with the body. So it says it's time to hold on to yourself and let go of another. So this could be in context of an actual person, but in the context of our theme for today and the cards that are coming up, this could be, as I said, whatever your own flavor of unhealthy attachment is. It says you've completed many cycles in the vibrational frequency of consciousness that you're now being asked to release. You've been in that vibrational frequency for some time now. You've earned the right to step out of that frequency, out of the habits, relationships, and possibilities that are limited to that outmoded frequency. It's now time to expand into higher frequencies of experience that will bring enhanced love, empowerment, and peace into your life. You will take the wisdom of what you've learned with you into something new. New connections, new relationships, new life experiences at a higher turn of the spiral of life. But first, you. So, as I always say, you can't make this shit up. This is exactly, what what we're talking about here. Raising your vibration. Dr. Joe Dispenza says, in order to create a new personal reality, you have to create a new personality. Because your personality, all the thoughts, decisions, feelings, habits, actions, emotions, that makes up your personality, and that creates your current personal reality. So if you like what you have, keep it. If you don't like it, you need to change your personality, which means you need to transform and change yourself. And my very sort of dramatic sobriety example is a perfect example of that. I had to change who I was. The old Natalie that was the alcoholic and addict had to become a different person. I had to give up the people, the connections, of course, the alcohol and drugs. I had to do different things. And through that process, I became a different version of myself, one that was clean and sober. And I mean, on and on and on, like there's infinite iterations of that. It says, this is a time for self-love, for paying attention to yourself, for nurturing, holding, and being with you. It says, this is also confirmation the work you've been doing on yourself is working for you. Your level of self-love is growing, and your ability to love consciously and healthily is increasing as a result. If you've been contemplating a change in lifestyle, enrolling in a class or joining a group, starting a project, or setting aside time to focus on your inner work, this card comes as confirmation that these things will be supportive, healthy, and helpful. So, really, it's just confirmation for everything that we're saying. I'm so excited for my day today, y'all. It's so wonderful to have community. I'm going to be meeting my sponsor and some other wonderful people. I'm going to go to a meeting. I've got 2 sponsors and 2 different 12-step programs. I'm going to be meeting with both of them. I love where I live. Like, this life would not exist in the old version of Natalie. It wouldn't be possible. And I had to let go of everything I knew, everything I thought I was, everything I held on to in order to create this. So for those of you where this message is hitting, whatever form of addiction it may be for you, or distraction or escape, it's going to require you giving up your old life. But it's, then there's this space in between of the unknown. It's unknown to step into it. And then until you're there, like you're in this in between where, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should go back. And that's the space to trust. Trust the unknown. Trust in possibility. Hi, Geraldine. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. And even in my coaching, that's what I support and partner with people on. Yeah, JE, I mean, it's precarious, so I just get to trust, and I think I might, when I may have been mentioning that, thank you so much for asking. I'm going to be going away for the summer. I'm going to be going to Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, and or Guatemala. So, and you know, of course, none of that would have been possible from the old version of Natalie. And you know, even my life now, you know, I had to give up an old life in the US to a completely unknown life to have this expat nomad lifestyle that I've had. It'll be 13 years this year. I had to give up everything to have this life. So we have this beautiful Three of Cups. We've gotten this one quite a bit before recently, but it's about celebration and community. So who is your tribe? For some of you, I really feel like in order to move to the next level, you need support. You can't do this alone. 10 of Wands. Seems like we got both of these together already recently. But you've been doing this on your own, and you can't. Part of like, what do I want to say? Like a trauma response. A trauma response shows, you know, they show up in different ways. One way is being too self-sufficient and doing everything on your own and not accepting any help. And some of you, this is coming through very strongly. This is you. You have been carrying everything alone, and it's time to stop. It's not serving you, it's not helping, and it's not working. You need to find your support. And it's also spiritual support. You know, they're all looking up at, I think it's Pleiades. But we cannot do it alone. We cannot do anything alone. We need each other. We really, really do. And there's maybe some of you are familiar with this study that was done with rats. They called it, I think, Rat Town or something. But it was about addiction. And when they put rats alone solitary, they became addicted. They gave them like whatever, heroin water or cocaine water. And they had that in the rat town. And when the rats were in the town together, nobody used it, but then they isolated some of them. I don't know the exact details. I'm probably butchering some of it, but the point is when they isolated the rats, they became addicted. The opposite of addiction is connection. So again, whatever form the addiction is taking for you, or even if it's just a habit, but you can't do this alone. I think that's a really clear message coming through for you right now. You've been burdened for too long. You've been carrying all these heavy burdens. So it's time to let it go. Because there's love waiting. There's love waiting for you, the Knight of Cups. So for some of you, it could be romantic. And if that's not, you know, if you're married or something or already partnered, you know, then this is a different form of love. You know, it could be a new level of loving yourself. It could be new, wonderful friendships. But it's like, it's time to let love in. Thank you, Patricia. You likely know more than I do about that. But it's like, allow yourself to receive. Like, this hot guy has this beautiful bouquet of roses to offer to you. So it might be a literal hot person, or it might be the divine. It might be time for you to stop pushing everyone and everything away. Accept help, accept love. Let love in. You deserve it. You are deserving and worthy of love. You are worthy and deserving of connection with other people, of support, of community. In our day and age, there's no reason in the world, I mean, there is no excuse or reason why we cannot be connected, because we have an abundance of ways to do that now. So some spiritual tough love is coming through for some of you. It's like, let love in. You are worthy and deserving of love. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Wands. So this energy, when it's on the bottom, it shows what's foundational, what's underneath, what's influencing the entire reading, the energies that are, hidden, subconscious. So a beautiful confirmation for you. Four of Wands is celebration, it's victory. This can be a twin flame card. So for those of you in the romantic realms, there could be, a true deep connection coming. In the original Four of Wands card, it's a couple, a romantic couple standing under four wands, which is 1111 and twin flame. So, however this message lands for you, it's love, it's connection, it's support, it's community, to move beyond and let go of this energy that's so burdensome. And I really feel that for you. So I'm going to look up this Ten of Wands in the Light Seers deck on my phone, and read the affirmation and read a bit more. The Light Seers descriptions are always great. So it says, I release my burdens to the ethers, and I trust the universe to help tend to the essentials. I release my burdens to the ethers, and I trust the universe to help tend to the essentials. So, what I was saying, it's like releasing the burden, releasing your burdens, getting support, allowing in love, trusting the universe, trusting in something bigger than you, that you will be taken care of. I was thinking as I was meditating before this morning, and, this whole 27 years sobriety journey of like, wow, this body has continued to be intact. Everywhere I've been, everything I've done, my consciousness is here, my body is still here, it's 27 years older. The universe has taken care of that. So the meanings of this card are taking on too much, burdens, responsibilities, oppression, a chance to understand why you're taking on so much, finding yourself close to a successful outcome, because this is a 10. So this is the end of this energy, but the burden's really heavy. But you're about to have a breakthrough. Just like me. So me 27 years ago was this. And then, and this, because I joined, 12-step. But it's like, again, you don't know what's coming when you let go, when you trust, when you surrender, when you allow, when you transform, when you do something different. I'm going to see if there's anything else. It says, all those responsibilities, do you really need to carry them all at the same time? The Ten of Wands is telling you it's time to streamline because you're so close yet so overburdened. Get help. Systemizing your life right now will help you to reach your goals much faster and will bring relief to any overwhelm you may be feeling. Yep. So, we will do just a moment, a brief moment, where I will do a little bit of Reiki and ancestral clearing. I do need to end to get to my meeting. Hi Nancy, it's been a while. Great to see you. Hey, we might be in Peru at the same time. I'll be in the Sacred Valley in June. I would like to hear about your Ecuador travels because I am going to a couple places there. So yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing. So I'm going to do some clearing around everything in this reading today and sending some Reiki energy to everyone just to bring some healing, nourishing, light, love. So let's close our eyes together. I'm also going to channel Solvana energy, which is energy of transformation and new beginnings. So just allow yourself to receive this energy. Your higher self will draw it in exactly in a way that's perfect for you. Infinite Creator, source of all that is, we love you. Thank you for loving us. We humbly ask that you open, bless, expand, lead, guide, and protect us into your perfect light, love, and life, and always, completely, now and forever. For everyone here right now, for all of our family members, all of our relationships, all of our ancestors, and all of their relationships through all relevant time, space, and dimension. For all hurts, wrongs, judgments, and burdens, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, and financial, through thought, word, or deed. Please help us all forgive each other, forgive ourselves, forgive all people, and all people forgive us completely and totally, please and thank you. For all addictions, habits, distractions, escapes, oppressions, thought forms, mindsets, limiting beliefs, subconscious programs, traumas, paradigms, egoic thinking that no longer serves us, through all relevant time, space, and dimension, in this lifetime, past versions of the self, anywhere in the lineage, past, present, or future. Please help us all forgive each other, forgive ourselves, forgive all people, and all people forgive us completely and totally, please and thank you. Infinite Creator, for the highest good, please lift out all weight, pain, burden, sin, death, debt, negativity, spells, hexes, curses, black magic, white magic, guilt, fear, shame, unworthiness, and limitation of all kind. Transform it into your love and let your love flow back in and through us, filling and giving us all complete peace now and forever. Please and thank you, please and thank you, please and thank you. Please help us love and bless each other, love and bless ourselves. be at peace with each other and at peace with ourselves. Please and thank you, please and thank you, please and thank you. So, a blessing, healing, and clearing for you today. Thank you all so much for joining. If you care to give a donation, that always helps me to continue to do this work. And if you feel the heart's call to connect with me one-on-one, as I said, for those who've never received a gifted session with me before, please reach out, follow your heart's guidance to connect. And I can offer you my powerful visioning process where we look at what you want to let go and leave behind, what you want to embrace, what's in the way, and what you can do. Thank you, Donna, Nancy, Wendy, J.E. Hi, Gina. Wonderful. Thank you for joining and saying hello. Wonderful to connect. And as I said, I've got many live streams planned this month, so please RSVP to those, bring a friend, and listen to my new meditations. I've got a free one, a new free track, a sleep track, and a new premium track of self-forgiveness and compassion. Thank you, Kat and Amy, Monica, Drazel, and congrats to you. Thank you, Karen. Thank you all for sharing this special time with me. You are a big part of my life, and being in my community, in this community, means a lot to me, and I'm grateful for each of you and all the connections here. If we've only seen each other in a live, or if we've connected one-on-one, or if you've been a coaching client or received any of my services, I'm very grateful to all of you, to that little sweet version of Natalie 27 years ago who dragged herself into AA and was just done and broken. And she just had, that wonderful, magical mix of willingness, desperation, surrender, and grace. Definitely grace involved. So, thank you all so much. And I will see you all very soon. In a few days, I believe. Check my schedule and follow me so you can be notified. Thank you so much, Kat. I will see you all soon. Have a wonderful day. Much love and namaste. Thank you, Patricia. Bye-bye.